Hello there. My name is Jasom Jensai. Welcome to this episode of Star Wars Duels. In this video, we'll discuss Luke Skywalker versus Rey. Specifically, Luke from Episode 6 and Rey from Episode 9. Star Wars Duels is a series where I pretend two Star Wars characters fight and I explain what I think would happen and why by analyzing their fighting style, personality, and raw power. The battlefield for this duel will be Exegol. While you watch, leave a comment. Who do you think would win? Are either of them overpowered? And how did Rey hear the voices of the past Jedi even though only a few of them became Force ghosts? Luke is the son of Anakin, but Rey is the granddaughter of Palpatine. Both are naturally talented, but which is stronger? Luke Skywalker is a rebel hero, a brilliant pilot, and a Jedi Knight. Luke is very merciful. He always gives his enemies a chance to surrender. Even Jabba, the nasty crime lord, was given a chance to surrender before Luke attacked. Once his enemy has refused to surrender, Luke will activate his lightsaber and attack. Luke uses mainly Form 5 of lightsaber combat. Form 5 focuses on strong attacks that keep the opponent on the defensive. Because it focuses so much on strength, Form 5 users have to have a solid stance that allows them to use their strength, but limits their mobility. Despite this, Luke often uses leaps or flips to retreat and regroup. Luke's style gives him strength, but limits his mobility. But Luke does not use Form 5 as smoothly as his father. Luke's swings are way too wide. He looks more like he's playing baseball than sword fighting sometimes. The problem with this is not only is it slower, but it tells your opponent exactly where you are going to strike. Pretty much the only time a windup of any kind is helpful is if you are going to do a feint. Unsurprisingly, Luke is very strong. He overpowered Vader with sheer strength. Vader can lift people off the ground one-handed with his arm outstretched, and Luke was able to overpower him. Luke is not remarkably fast for a Jedi, but he has extremely good reflexes. He was able to slice Boba Fett's gun in half, escape the carbonite freezing chamber, and of course, blow up the Death Star. Luke has incredible reflexes and he is surprisingly strong. Unfortunately, Luke does not use the Force very often in combat. He might use it if there is no way to use his lightsaber, but he does not use telekinesis while in combat at all in any of the movies. If for some reason he did decide to use the Force, he is powerful. He can lift several hundred pounds while doing a handstand, so he can probably lift even more if he focused exclusively on using the Force. Although he cannot lift an X-Wing yet, Luke is still powerful. In combat, Luke relies primarily on his strength, although he can use his speed to escape a bad situation. Luke is skilled, very fast, and extremely strong. Rey is also very powerful, although she has no real training in lightsaber combat. Rey's style is what you would expect from someone who is super angry and using a sword for the first time. She often uses strength-based attacks with a one-handed grip. Rey fights like a baseball player. She starts her swing from behind her shoulder and ends on the opposite shoulder. In The Rise of Skywalker, she even used a reverse grip. But Rey does something that most other Jedi don't do: stabs. Rey will often start an attack with a stab, although she still telegraphs a lot. Stabs are probably the most effective attack you can do. They are difficult to block because the blade's silhouette is much smaller than a slash. The only problem with a stab is that they do not flow as effectively from one attack to another. But that is a small price to pay for a really good attack. Rey obviously has no training and not much practice in lightsaber combat. She has very little skill, but she does have speed and strength. Just like Luke, Rey rarely ever uses the Force in combat. She did once against Kylo in The Rise of Skywalker. Rey uses the Force to hold back Kylo Ren's lightsaber. Unfortunately for Rey, that use of the Force was a waste of effort because she could have blocked the attack with her lightsaber. Unless she could block the attack with the Force while attacking with her lightsaber, which she couldn't, it is not helpful at all. While she never demonstrates her power in combat, Rey is extremely powerful with the Force. With no training, Rey not only read Kylo's mind, but she successfully used the Jedi mind trick. At the end of The Last Jedi, Rey easily lifts several tons of rock. Rey has tons of natural talent, but her tactics and style are pathetic. Somehow, Rey's raw power and plot armor allow her to match Kylo Ren, and even kill Sidious with no help other than a bunch of voices in her head. Luke and Rey are surprisingly similar. They both make the same mistake of overswinging, and have very little training. But Luke is physically stronger, while Rey is stronger with the Force. Before I explain who I think would win, tell me in the comments who you think will win. Let the battle begin. Luke and Rey stand on opposite ends of the giant Sith arena on Exegol. The rocky terrain around them is illuminated by strange blue light that seems to be coming from nowhere and everywhere. Every few seconds, the sky is brightened by an eerie lightning strike. Luke gives Rey a simple choice: surrender or be destroyed. Rey decides she doesn't like either option and ignites Anakin's blue-bladed lightsaber. Luke ignites his own lightsaber as Rey begins to charge towards him. Rey brings her lightsaber back behind her head and swings across her body at Luke. Luke meets the attack with an unshakable parry. He gets one foot back and one forward in a wide and stable stance. He viciously swings at Rey, but Rey deflects it to the side and spins around, striking at Luke with one hand. Luke meets her blow again, but this time Rey only had one hand and the attack is much weaker. Luke attacks high before kicking Rey in the knee. Rey falls to one knee before stabbing straight up at Luke. Luke bats the attack to the side, but Rey immediately follows up with a series of powerful slashes. After just a few of her wild strokes, Luke manages to use his strength to turn her attacks into parries. Luke steps forward and continues his attack. He does not stop. He continues to hack at Rey, who is slowly withering under the powerful strokes. But Rey is not done yet. Rey calms her mind and suddenly whips her blade around, feinting low before striking high. With one hand, Rey begins attacking Luke from all sides, outflanking and overwhelming him. But Rey's attacks are too wild. Luke ducks under his legs and Rey swings all the way around to her other shoulder. Luke uses the opportunity to flip over Rey and attack from the other side. Rey tries to block with one hand, but her blade is simply knocked aside. She barely avoids the green blade of plasma. Luke steps forward into his Form 5 stance and attacks again. This time Rey uses both hands and manages better, but she is getting tired. Luke continues to attack. He rains blow after blow down on Rey, who is barely avoiding each stroke. Suddenly, Luke tries to twist Rey's lightsaber out of her hand, but Rey spins around and slashes at Luke's side. Luke parries the blow with his own attack, and Rey steps back again. Rey is tired and running out of room to retreat. Just a few meters behind her is the throne of the Sith. Luke continues his attack, but Rey suddenly retreats, running toward the throne and switching to a reverse grip. Rey jumps off the throne and spins mid-air toward Luke. As she lands, Rey swings her lightsaber down on Luke. Luke easily blocks the clumsy attack and twists her lightsaber out of her hand. Rey desperately force pushes Luke, but he blocks her push with his own. Luke and Rey struggle for a few seconds before both flying backward. Both of them fall to the ground. Luke rises to his feet and picks up his lightsaber. As Luke walks towards her, Rey gets to her feet and pulls her lightsaber to her with the Force. Luke gives her one last chance to surrender, but Rey screams and ferociously attacks him. Luke is knocked off balance for a second before he begins to confidently parry the clumsy attacks. Luke blocks the stroke on his left before attacking on the right. Rey steps back and stabs at Luke, but Luke knocks her blade up and steps forward, pushing her to the ground. Luke brings his lightsaber high and bashes Rey with it, but she holds up her lightsaber to block it. Luke swings again, and a fourth time. On the fifth stroke, Rey's lightsaber is knocked out of her hand. As Rey calls the Skywalker saber back to her, Luke swings one last time, but he does not kill Rey. He slices off her hand. Rey is powerful, but Luke has more endurance, more skill, and more strength. Luke is the winner. So with that, thanks for listening to what I have to say about Luke Skywalker versus Rey Palpatine. Comment any criticisms, congratulations, or questions you have about my videos. Hit the like button to indicate that you liked the video, and if you didn't like the video, don't subscribe because subscribing is the best way to watch my content. Without subscribing, you will probably not see any of my content because I still have a small, hard-to-find channel. If you do like my content, though, you know what to do. May the Force be with you.